Why not? I mean, would you mind to see an ad on your bank statement?
I already do.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You know, like, who cares?
And you can help your customers even more.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end, that's I think the magic. At least to not just blah blah talk, but if you approach things of helping people, they don't mind. I don't mind when I buy a newspaper I have to pay, but you have to provide people with something. But you see, the magic of free. And let me worry how to make the money from it. That's what influence is, telling your story.
I'm here with #1 global fintech influencer, Spiros Magaris, and I was very pleased to meet him. I hadn't met him before in my previous roles, and now we met at the event. So
and we start liking each other. I mean, it's a privilege to when I see you to exchange our thoughts, and thanks for asking me. I'm posting about other people, and even things I don't agree with, but I like to read even things that I don't agree with, because there's always some truth in it. And I want to give my audience the option to say, oh yes, maybe that's not Spiros' view, but he puts it up, so maybe it's a good view, which we have to read. We can read.
But don't people ask you, don't they want to essentially buy your views? So you get a call from a big bank, Barclays, HSBC, Citi, and they say, hey, we really want you to help us design a strategy. We want you to help us, almost as a consulting.
If they do that might also happen in the future. Actually, we're working on something. But then you have to be very transparent, because the most important thing is to tell people, I'm involved with this, and I believe this little piece is great. You know, they don't have to love it, but you're open, honest. But I think the worst thing is really, which I see in our industry as well, pushing things which we know they're somehow involved, but they don't say it.
Yeah, Crypto Valley or whatever.
Yes, whatever. And I think that's not, I mean, it will hurt them more. But if you're transparent, I mean, we have to do business to grow. And if you're honest and you love something, why not? I mean, I push F10. I'm a senior advisor here, but I love it. I love the people. I love what you guys do.
You do it because you like it.
Yeah, I love the people who are involved and what you do, and so that's the way to do it.
Can you explain a little bit? What's the life of a fintech influencer? It sounds so glamorous to be a fintech influencer, right? Like, what's the life like? Do you fly around in Gulf Streams from destination to destination, like Tony Robbins, and give a speech and make $1 million? Like, how does it work?
No, I'm not in that league, but I charge serious money. I'm investing in 4 startups. So basically, between my life is advising my startups.
Wait, invested in startups through kind of a fund or a company that you work with, or personal?
No, serious money with me and other family offices. So I co-invest, but I bring those subjects, those startups to this audience and say, look, let's co-invest, and then and usually it's serious money.
So you help almost PR or market then those startups' activities. So you help them get to
but also I invest and I bring other investors to the table.
Right. Okay.
I mean, like Money Meets, Post Finance invested, Money is the German one. Capilendo had some successes, great success in Germany, crowd lending, and in Glance, Glance I'm involved in, and since I'm involved in, the stock is up 150% since a month ago. So there is to be an influencer, to talk. There is a positive effect. Basically, they were already good before. It's not me. I'm just a player. Look at it like a soccer team. I'm just one of the team members. I can't win, but in my position, I can sell the story in a credible way. And what's my job is usually I give speeches. I talk to Microsoft or SAP and tell them the way I see things. You know, they don't have to listen. But I'm very free to talk about those things. Like, I give a lot of speeches and I embed the thing we talked about, We Were Kings, where we think, we both agree a little bit that a lot of bank services will be free eventually. And we're not talking 20 years.
Why do you call it We Will Be Kings?
We were kings because banks were kings at one point.
Yeah, until 2007 or
8. And they're still very powerful. But I think the business model has to change, because what stops Facebook and Amazon to provide services at cost? Or it's zero. And make it up with advertisement, whatever it is, or even not making it up, just to gain market share.
So what's your kind of view on that? Because I have a similar view that banking should be free. I find that it should be a commodity service, but at the same time, I'm a little worried that it's like telecoms. I still pay $150 a month for basic telephony and my mobile phone and Wi-Fi at home.
They find a new way to slice
infrastructure. Yeah, they found a new way to sell it, and I don't have a choice.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, that's my fear, is that with banking, we don't really have a choice. Do we?
At this point, we do have some fintech choices, but I mean, to be realistic, I don't see anyone putting his salary in a fintech company yet. But they're trying, and we are very jaded by our generation. But I think if somebody 17-year-old or 20-year-old, a fintech is good enough. Mm-hmm. And with time, there will be their bank, their brand. At the end, it's a brand. I mean, I remember I told my wife at one point many months ago, don't use WhatsApp when it started because they're using your contacts info. Mm-hmm. Of course, I gave this up very quickly, but there's certain things which feel and sound strange, but we really get used to all of a sudden. And I mean,
we all ended up using WhatsApp.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with the challenger banks. What stops us to using them and transfer the money there?
Mm-hmm. So what do you really need for basic infrastructure? So we know from telecoms, you need a phone connection. Mm-hmm. Or you need a Wi-Fi connection for a computer when the data volume is getting bigger. You're working on the internet, you're pulling down data, video. And then what else do you use a telecom for? I mean, basically those services end up costing you for the infrastructure. So you pay the infrastructure plus a premium. Will banking be like that? I mean, you have custody accounts, you have basic lending, a credit card, a debit card, some foreign exchange transactions, maybe some basic investing, right? For most people on the planet.
That will be sufficient. Exactly. Right? And if it's cheap and good, why would you stick with the big bank?
You think the challenger banks, you're a believer in the sort of
but then
Monzo, Movin,
obvious play, we talk Apple or Google, Amazon, but anyone. Amazon is probably the most dangerous one. Not dangerous, but because for most millennials, just as an example, Amazon is the most important platform because you know why? Not Google, not Facebook.
Why is Amazon the most?
Because they do transactions there. They get paid there. If they sell something, they buy things. Mm-hmm. You exchange much more money with Amazon. Mm-hmm. With Google, you read, but you're not going to send money.
You exchange data.
Yes,
you have a filter bubble, but you don't necessarily.
But Amazon, you exchange data as well, and you sell things there, or you buy things. So
it's really a marketplace.
This is most millennials, and it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. The most important marketplace. Mm-hmm. So. Likely Amazon will think about competing with banks. And the thing we discussed last time, Bruno, is we said for the tech giants, banks are not a target yet. But now last week came a McKinsey report as well. I mean, now even Amazon, all these people will think of banks, hey, there's some profits to be taken.
It's a call to Jeff Bezos' strategy team. I think this is a place you should be if you're not already there in terms of the basic banking license, but offer banking for free. It's just an auxiliary commodity service.
Yes.
Where you can have more contact points to data and customers than you had in the past.
So and you can help your customers even more.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end, that's I think the magic. At least to not just blah blah talk, but if you approach things of helping people, they don't mind. I don't mind when I buy a newspaper that I have to pay, but you have to provide people with something, and then they don't mind to pay, And I think that's the approach we should take. I believe most startups, I mean, we should tell the people here as well, it's always about people, it's never about tech. Because, look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is even a bad example because he's so icon, but at the end of the day, it's a person you relate to, and then you relate to the product, Apple, Facebook, Zuckerberg, whatever. And if I feel sometimes some CEOs or top guys from fintech companies where I feel like, oh my God, they do a good job, but basically it's just business.
It's Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yes.
He's the guy. If he does Bank X, I want to work there for free.
You're right. So really well, what we said at the beginning, through conversation, we get to answers. Adam thought Elon Musk is probably the perfect example.
He's the dude for me.
And if he would come up with a bank product, he could even help himself financing a lot of things.
Right?
Yes, of course.
And that goes back to the whole electric car story. For me, that's very compatible. If I really trust my family's life and to put on a new roof on my house, I have no problem to use his debit card, right? Exactly. He's already got my trust. Therefore, this whole trust.
Very good point. But he would be a perfect example to emulate as a startup. You can say we put ads on. You can just be transparent, saying you're not going to pay a thing. Let me worry how to make the money out of it to make this happen. You know, and this will happen. And every time we tell the story, I mean, my article was spread quite widely. We were kings, but it's great. Every time we tell the story, somebody picks it up. But you said, you know, why not? I mean, would you mind to see an ad on your bank statement?
I already do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, like, who cares?
But you see, the magic of free. And let me worry how to make the money from that. And be transparent about it. That's very important. I don't want them to figure out how we make the money from them. We should say, wait, we make it from advertisement. Because we have to make it somewhere. Because if I don't know where to make the money from, then I start worrying. Because money has to be made. And you say we're compensated this way.
People, we have to pay for the infrastructure. That we
make the money from selling maybe some data, maybe not, but just tell them what you do. So people feel comfortable with it. And I'm a big believer. That's what influence is, telling the story.